Hello, welcome back to the Diary of a Nail Sticking Out. This is episode 10, quite a milestone. I'm very pleased to have made it to 10 episodes. So yeah, let's dive in. So it's finally happened. Very excited. Yeah, I have a call with a prospective client tomorrow. That's the first time anyone has used my contact form on my website. Well, at least that wasn't trying to sell me anything. So yeah, very excited about that. Yeah, I remember way back when, maybe when I was like 22, just before I moved down to London, and I was doing job interviews, so with various like web companies, I was trying to find a job, but this was like when I was just starting to kind of come out of my crippling social anxiety and requiring drugs and alcohol to be able to talk to people stage of life. so I was like, anyway, a piece of advice that I found really useful at that time, and it's kind of stayed with me whenever I've kind of been in like big kind of like situations in my life, is it was Simon Sinek, and he said, I'm paraphrasing here, but basically he talks about athletes, and he was interviewing an athlete or several athletes, and he was like, "Oh, don't you get nervous before a race?" And they're like, "No, we just tell ourselves we're excited, not that we're nervous, because what are the symptoms of being nervous? You got butterflies in the stomach, sweaty palms, accelerated heart rate. What's the feeling of being excited? Oh, sweaty palms, butterflies in the stomach, accelerated heart rate." So really, if you're feeling nervous, you can just train yourself to kind of like switch it and say that you're excited, and it just kind of flips a perspective on it. So I've done that, and I've got better at it over time. So yeah, I'm excited about this call tomorrow. But yeah, I mean, compared to like client calls, or discovery, it's really a discovery call. Like, it's not there's nothing concrete yet. So I think calls like this, were maybe like 2 years, even a year ago, I put a lot more pressure on them than I do now, and I think there's a couple of reasons for that. I think certainly now, I know that I know because of how like the last 6 months have gone since I've been in Australia, and what my plans are. Like, I know that I can stay afloat even if I don't win this client, and B, I know what I'm working towards. So that helps take the pressure off, because I know I don't feel like I'm depending on this client call being successful. And also, I know that calls like this aren't about me getting work. It's about me and the prospective client having a conversation, understanding what the project is, what the project goals are, getting to know each other a little bit, and just figuring out if we would be a good fit to work on the project together. And I think that's it's a lot healthier way to approach a call like that, and I think it's a lot more realistic, because that's what it is. And in the past, I put so much pressure on myself to just be like, oh, the client is talking to me, that means if I'm a failure if I'm not getting the work at the end of it. So that kind of leads me on to what the episode title is about. So stay out of the results. What does that mean? Why is that important? Let's go into it. So essentially, staying out of the results means you focus on what you can control and not what you can't. So we're not in control of the results of what we do. We're not in control of our outcomes. It might feel that we are in control of them, but we're not really. But what we can control is our inputs. So I talk about this a lot in pretty much in all the episodes. That what we're in control of every day is what we do. And if we have a specific goal that we want to reach, then we build what we do around moving us towards that goal. And as long as like our kind of like internal reward comes from the fact that we're just doing what we need to do, then we're going to show up every day and we're just going to do what we need to do. If our reward comes only from when we like reach the goal, so let's take an example that isn't from my work. So my girlfriend and I at the moment, we're wanting to learn German with a view to moving to Germany a few years down the line. So the goal is to become kind of fluent in German. That's what we want. But we're not in control of when we become fluent in German. It would be silly for us to be like, oh, I want to be fluent in German by the end of the week, and if we're not, then we're shit. That's stupid. Even if, extend the timeline a week's very unrealistic, but 2 years. If we don't hit that in 2 years, then we're just going to feel like shit. And the whole way along the way, if we're not fluent in German and we don't feel like we're going to hit the fluent in German, we're just going to feel like shit. But if our goal, if our target is to become fluent in German, our goal should be to practice, say, for 15 minutes every day some German, whether it be doing practicing verbs or talking to each other or just whatever. But if we're doing that every day and that's our goal, then we can achieve that every day and we're getting the reward of hitting that goal every day. And we're staying out of the results, and that we know that practicing our German for however long every day is going to take us closer to being fluent in German. But our happiness and reward kind of system in our brain is not built around the fact that we're fluent in German. So that's kind of what staying out of the results is. So why is it important? Well, again, I talk about this all the time in these episodes. We'll go back to my work and my freelancing as the example. I talk all the time about I'm not in control. I want to start up this new freelance business in Australia. And I have various methods and tactics and strategies about how I'm going to make that happen. But I'm not in control of when it does happen. So all I can do is show up every day. Kind of do what I say I'm going to do. So whether it be writing blog posts to build up my SEO, going to networking events, going to co-working spaces, meeting people, talking about what I do, going on client calls, all this kind of stuff, it's all working towards me developing this freelance business. But I'm not in control of when I get my first client or when I hit X X amount of revenue, X amount of clients. That's not in my control. But what I can control is just hitting achievable targets every day and keeping myself coming back. And if I'm hitting daily targets and achieving my goals every day, then that kind of reward structure is going to keep me coming back. Whereas if every day I wake up, I'm like, I want to have 5 clients that pay me, I don't know, 100 grand a year, but I'm on 0 clients and 0 revenue. Like, that's how I start every day and that's how I end every day, how long am I going to stay in that? How long am I going to stick around and try and see those results come to fruition? I don't know. I mean, I'm pretty fucking determined, and I can endure a lot. I think that's probably one of my I can't think what the bloody word is. It's a good feature of mine for what I'm trying to do, basically, because I can just kind of sit there and take it a lot. We could go into why that is, but I'm not going to in this episode. But yeah, I'm sorry, I've completely lost where I was. Anyway, staying out of the results allows us to focus on what we can actually affect, which is our inputs, and we don't bother about outcomes. Outcomes come as and when they do. There's too many external factors for us to have any real effect on the results. All we can control are the factors in our control. So potential clients aren't going to find me on Google if I'm not doing work to rank high on Google. So I can do that work, do my SEO work, and then I've got more chance of being found on Google. I'm not going to find clients through referrals if I'm not meeting people and interacting with people that might have those referrals for me. So I need to go out there, I need to build my network. This is the kind of tangible stuff I'm getting at. So I keep giving examples of the same thing. Let's just wrap this up. Why is it important? Because if we want to do hard things, it's not going to come straight away. We're not going to be in control of when it happens. All we can do is break down what we can affect, do the things that we need to do to take us as close to that goal as we can, and then just keep doing it for long enough for all the other things to work in our favour, and then we hit the goal. To kind of like butcher a Alex Hormozy statement quote thing, the goal is doing the thing, not the thing itself. Essentially, for me, the goal is to build my business so that I can have an income and I can help people, use my skills to serve other people and help people achieve their goals. So the goal is me. So every day, the goal is not having that business that helps other people and brings in X amount of income for me. The goal is just doing the things I need to do that day to take me closer to that goal. Now, I'm not feeling like I've really kind of like had any, you know how in some podcasts it's just like they can pull out like a few lines here and there that really like nail the point. I don't think I really nailed the point in this episode. I hope you can get the gist of what I said. I think I'm not caffeinated enough to be really on point today, but hey, the goal is not to have a successful podcast. It's to post podcast episodes every week and build my communication skills. So I've hit the goal. I'm staying out the results. I will let you know how the call goes with the prospective client. Maybe I'll kind of go a bit deeper on how I approach those things next week. It's a good idea. We'll see. Anyway, in the meantime, I've got lots of work to do. I need to prep for this call, and I've got other client work that I need to be cracking on with. So I will leave you, and I would wish you a fantastic week. I will be back next Wednesday. I've noticed that we're starting to get a few regular listeners. So if you're enjoying the content and you're wanting to see me as I get better, then subscribe and follow me on Spotify, and you'll get all the latest episodes as they come through. Anyway, have a great week. I will be back with more rambling points in the future. Peace.